Peace to the gods and earth, to God-born Bill Universal, transmitter of supreme science on earth and the universe. And this is iGod TV. Welcome back, family. Happy New Year. We made it through another 365, back around through the universe, traveling through. I hope we all feel advanced and upgraded and then somewhat evolved from where we were at this point last year, and I definitely know I feel that way and definitely feel determined and definitely ready to get things going, and make the right moves and move consciously through this matrix this year, to make sure the things we want to make happen, bring them to life this year. You know what I mean? So once again, I want to thank everybody for tapping back in. And first off, I want to thank Track Visions, the whole staff for just putting us down all the time, keeping the visuals correct, making sure, the editing is right and, just the research and everything, getting it put down. You know what I mean? I also want to shout out to Lightyear Media, for just the platforms and different things you've been working on, family. I know y'all been seeing a lot of different things, musically, psychologically, and things like that we've been working on and just touching and just trying a few things with, what I mean? So I'll just ask y'all to just continue to keep rocking with us, what I mean? And the things that you like on the platform that come out, tap in with it, what I mean? And the other things, if it's not necessarily you, what I mean? Keep it rocking, but at the same time, stay tuned in and stay tapped in, because we're going to always do this. This is always going to be the foundation, and we're going to keep the knowledge, wisdom, understanding always coming right and exact, because, every time I pull up, it's straight science. You know what I mean? Especially 2022. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing this year. It's all about movement, family, motion. Okay. Everything this year is about motion, family. We got to get everything in motion, everything moving and balanced. You know what I mean? Balance out everything in our life the best way that we can. You know what I mean? The good, the bad, the time, the space, everything that we have. You know what I mean? It's time to balance that all out and put it to use for ourselves. You know what I mean? Make it for our use now. You know what I mean? We were slaves to the things around us and the things that we had going on. But from here on, these things work for us now. You know what I mean? And that's straight up and down. I can't put it no more plain than that, family. That's how we moving this year. And that's how we're going to keep things going. You know what I mean? From here on out. So shout out to the whole family that's been tapping in with us. Shout out to the new members to the family that's been coming in, checking a few things out. You know what I mean? And I want to shout out to the Great Lakes Radio, which is also about to be called Up Next Radio. You know what I mean? We actually switched the name for it. So y'all stay tapping into that too for my music lovers. Those is all local artists, you know what I mean? And people around, let's just say unsigned artists, you know what I mean, is trying to get a platform to get heard. They all youngins, you know what I mean? Young men and women, trying to get their creativity put out there in some way, you know what I mean? Without having to get their pockets bled, you know what I mean? To get on these certain platforms and things and get promotion, So we just reaching out a hand to, you know what I mean? To help the kids, to help the youth, put some things together and get their creativity out there so people can check it out. You know what I mean? Because that's what we're doing this year, family. We moving, we in motion, we putting things into effect. All right. We no longer sitting back, watching, listening. You know what I mean? We activate. You know what I mean? Now that we activated, what do? You move. You're in motion now. You know what I mean? We bringing things into the light. We're bringing things to life this year. So shout out to Up Next Radio, Mr. Uwe. You know what I mean? He definitely got his ear to the streets, and he definitely tapped in with the youth, man. And they rocking with him, and they giving the music and the things for the platform, and it's going good. So y'all stay tapping into that too. You know what I mean? Because we just staying positive, positive vibes only for this year. You know what I mean? I want to shout out to my homeboy Stuart Dennison over at Red Phoenix Agency. That's another thing this year, family. New year, new taxes. You know what I mean? Let's get our credit together. Let's get our credit scores up. Let's get our things going right. You know what I mean? So that way we can maneuver out here and get to traveling and, having the resources that we need to make these things happen. You know what I mean? So tap in with Red Phoenix Agency. He's on Instagram. You know what I mean? Red Phoenix Agency. You know what I mean? Follow him. That's my man Stu over there telling me, God sent you. You know what I mean? He get your credit, help you get your credit together and get it going so you can start these businesses and, get you a house, get whatever you need to get going, man. Get the financing right, get your paper together. You know what I mean? So tap in with him, definitely. Also tap in with my nephew, Dom over at New World One Clothing, man. The boy's coming, there's a young boy that's coming out with just so creative, man, on the designer level, man. You know what I mean? And the clothes and the merchandise, the merch that he's coming out with is just amazing. You know what I mean? So big shout out to Dom over at New World One Clothing. Definitely check him out on Instagram too. Tell him that God sent you. You know what I mean? That's how we do it. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, family, we here. We back at the table. First episode of the year. You know, I'm feeling good. You know, I know y'all feeling good. You know, we had a little time, you know, to process the new year and a few scares. Of course, they're going to come with this to turn up the fear frequency to start the year off with it, family. You know what I mean? But we're not letting that shut us down this year. We know how to prevent these things from happening. We've been going through it for a couple of years now. So we know how to do the preventive maintenance. You know what I mean? If we got to, you know, we're supposed to be keeping the circle tight anyway. So none of us should be around a million people anyway. You know what I mean? Just randomly, you know what I mean? For absolutely no reason. So we all should be knowing how to move and knowing how to take care of this anyway. So that fear shouldn't strike you as how they really want to turn it up to the levels this year, you know? And that's one point we want to talk about today, you know? And today's episode is the lunar illusion, okay? And we're talking a lot about frequency, you know what I mean? And it's about frequency and it's about how it affects you. And I know we talked about, and everything ties into everything. So if you've seen all the other episodes, you see how we shown you how everything is connected. Now we're going to show you how these frequencies are working and what's going on with them and how in the ancient times and how we're affected by them now, because that's what we do in the nation. We apply the history to the present, you know what I mean? Which can help us construct the future. That's peace to the gods and earth, you know what I mean? And so it's a lot about frequency, and it's a lot about, you know, seeing things how they are, you know what I mean? And not what they appear to be, you know what I mean? Right and exact vision, you know what I mean? iGod TV, you know what I mean? The vision, mastering of the vision. You get what I'm saying? So first off, you know how we do it. We usually start off with today's mathematics, but being the first episode of the year, I want to hit y'all. We're just going to do the mathematics of the year, okay? And it's 2022, all right? 2022. We know that's 246. You know what I mean? 6 equality. All right. Balance. Exactly what we was talking about. Balance. Once you balance, you can be in motion. When a bird flies, you know, let's not even go to the technology. Let's just stay natural. When a bird's flying, the balance of the wings. You know what I mean? That's why you see it a lot in Kemet, the wings, the balance. You get what I'm saying? Fish, swimming, you know, it's all about the balance. Boats on the water, everything is about balance to create the motion, okay? In your body, the balance of your chakras, the balance of your positive and negative energy, the 2 serpents, okay? Like we talked about, the Adam and Eve, you know the story. The 2 energies. Once that is balanced, you're able to move, you know, in your God light, okay? That's what the whole meditation, the chakras and all that is about, to balance that out, to be able to move in your true frequency, so to speak. All right. That God light is a frequency. All right. Let's not think about it being something spooky. It's a frequency. It's a level. You get what I'm saying? So that's all we're talking about. And that's where we're going to, especially tonight. All right, family. The lunar illusion, we tapping in. But first, let's hit the 120. All right. What's equality? What's the gods telling us? All right. Equality is the state or quality of being equal, okay? Meaning to deal equally with all in existence, okay? Everything is everything. We done did the steps. We done took the steps to realize, for the realization of equality, okay? We've been there, family, and we're here now. We elevate. Equality is achieved by teaching others knowledge and wisdom, making it understood through understanding, okay? Then that's peace, all right, family? All the gods and earth know what I'm talking about, all right? This equality is the balance, all right? And through the balance of the knowledge and the wisdom being understood through understanding, okay? I'm giving you my understanding, simple and plain, right and exact, nothing taken away, everything's the same, straight to you, all right, family, to where it can be understood, okay? And that you can take it and take the same steps, do the knowledge, take the wisdom from it, and give out the understanding. All right, family. Now, through that balance and through that equality is where we're going to go tonight. All right. So stay in with us, stay in with me, bear with me. Let's work. Let's work. It's the first episode of the year. We're going to go in deep, family, and we're going to keep decoding, all right? Because every time I pull up, you know it's straight science, all right? Peace, peace, peace. So like we were saying about seeing things as they really are, you know what I mean? And not as they appear to be, all right? Now you might say, what does that mean? Okay, hold on. You might say, what does that mean? All right. What that means is not looking at things with just the naked eye, with just the two eyes, the intelligence, the eyes of intelligence, is the third eye, the intelligent eye, the mind's eye. When you thinking, when you close your eyes, when you making that vision in your mind, that's the activation of your third eye. Okay. Let's get simple and plain with it this year. Let's not play any games with anyone. All right. You want to activate the third eye. You're wondering why you can't do it because what you're looking for isn't what the third eye and activation of the third eye actually is, okay? You've been doing it since you was a kid, okay? When you're visualizing your thoughts, that's the third eye. That's seeing through the third eye. All right, family, it's already activated. It's already there. It's already happening for you. It's already functioning on an everyday basis, okay? They always want to keep those things in the shadows and keep those things locked up or a big spooky mystery around it to where you can't visualize it and understand what exactly they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then you get lost in it, chasing something that you already have. Okay. And that's what we've been talking about season 1 and season 2 is the things that you already have. You have to realize you already have this. Okay. It's already activated. You have to just understand how to get behind the wheel and drive the car. You just hopped in a foreign. You have to figure out the buttons and figure out how things work in here. You know what I mean? And for all these years, we've been running around just on autopilot. The vehicles, they call the dumb, deaf, and the blind in our nation, but really it's just the autopilot. Just they don't know how to drive the vehicles. They're being driven by these Teslas. You know what I mean? You've been in a Tesla with the shit just on now. Go ahead. You know what I mean? You've been riding in the navigation of Tesla in your body. Okay? That's been going on. You know what I mean? So once we start realizing these things and seeing things as they really are, then we know how to move, then we can activate. You get what I'm saying, family? So let's keep it going. In that balance, okay, we know about my eye, you know what I mean? And the positive and negative forces, in the balance of those positive and negative forces, all right, with you in the middle, okay? That's where you're getting lost in it. All right. We'll tap into that in a minute too. But one thing I want to also talk about is, what we said about the shadow. You know what I mean? They keep these things in the shadow, in the darkness, the amun, you know what I mean? And in the underworld and all this stuff is just really in the shadows and in your mind. It's in the underworld of your mind, meaning it ain't been brought out into the thought processing yet. That's all that is. You see how we rock it behind it, all right? The underworld. This is the inside of your mind, and we're going to bring things out from the underworld to life. Okay? It ain't all about the death of it, because what is the death? Even in the nutrients, even in the plants, dies and regenerates and is reborn. Okay? So down here, you see Osiris is green. You see what's going on is the rebirth is down here. This under the soil. This is where the activation is all going on at. This is where the resurrection's happening. Okay? This is where the resurrection is happening. All right. You see, he's the God of resurrection. Why? This is where it's happening at. This is where the resurrection is happening. The life and the death is happening, and it's coming and it's going up and it's coming back down, and it's regenerating and degenerating. You know what I mean? At all times. You get what I'm saying? But I know this is the first episode of the year, family, and I'm going off, but I'm just excited and I'm just glad y'all still tapping in, man, because we're going further and further and further. Now, you can always go back on YouTube and into the season, into the Live from Planet Earth playlist and go through it as many times as you want. Study it, and you'll see how I'm keeping it on a track. Okay, it's all going in order, actually. You know what I mean? So if you need to go back at times, go back and boom, boom, and then you'll see where we're at now. It'll be very easy to catch up. That's why I made the actual playlist on there. So you can go in to the Live from Planet Earth playlist, tap into it, and you can be able to catch things that you think you may have missed maybe. But for those that have been tapped in and are right here with me, Ben had the seatbelt buckled, you know what I mean? We've been riding through the stratosphere, which I'm going to show you another thing about the stratosphere too today. We here, family. Let's go ahead. Let's do this. All right. So you know what time it is. Let's share my screen. I'm excited, family. I'm excited. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. We're going to keep it moving. Trust me. Keep building. All right. All right. Here we go. Now we see on the left, okay, we see the goddess Ma'at, okay? We already know what the dumb, deaf, and the blind say about this. They have no idea what they're looking at, okay? They have no idea what they're looking at over here on the left, okay? They're making it a spooky goddess or god or pagan or something that's not godly. And the reason why the African people were put into slavery and are living the lives of murderers and criminals and things now is because they were cursed back then for studying this, okay? It's a lie. It's an illusion, okay? That's the shadow of it, okay? But here tonight on iGod TV, family, we're bringing it to the light, okay? We're bringing it to the light, all right, family? We're not playing the games no more. We're not going to play the biblical lie anymore. We're not going to sit back in the shadows, okay? And we know the shadow is the devil, so to speak, in their word, in their terms. The devil is the shadow. The evil is in the shadows, okay? But I'm going to go deeper tonight into the shadow, even on this lunar illusion. That's what it's really actually about. This shadow illusion, all right? This shadow that we're going to push away so you can see things clearly from here on out, family, okay? So let's continue. All right, on the left, we see Ma'at, okay? Now, we see the wings, we see the goddess, we see the balance, feather of the balance of justice, equality, freedom, justice, equality, all right? High court. This is what courts are supposed to be about. You know what I mean? The justice. Why is it justice? Because of the balance. And you see the hands pointing out, family? Okay? That is projecting balance. Okay? She is projecting the balance and the equality. Okay? Which is freedom and justice through equality. Okay, or balance, manifestation of balance, projecting of balance, okay? So that's what you do every day. You project this balance every day. When you wake up or when you get to moving around, you get to doing things, you wake up, okay, how do I feel? I feel good today. I'm ready to do this. Maybe I might try this extra thing today I was thinking about. Maybe I might work out. Maybe I might hit these push-ups when I get up today. You know what I mean? I'm feeling good. You know, you might wake up and, oh man, I didn't feel like I got much sleep. You know, let me find some coffee somewhere or some kind of sedative, some kind of supplement to you know, reboot my body. You know what I mean? And going around feeling like you don't have time to do anything, you know what I mean, or get anything accomplished. You know what I mean? So you're projecting, you can project either one of these balances, okay? Either one of these what? Frequencies, okay? Okay? They call them spirits, you know, which they want to make everything some physical thing that can attack you, you know what I mean, to make you so afraid to tap into it. But we're going to end that tonight, okay? No more this spiritual attack, okay? Let's end the spiritual attack for 2022, okay? Please, let's start here, all right? Frequency, okay? Which frequency are you going to project every day you open your eyes? Okay, family? This is my freedom, justice, equality, balance, okay? Okay? Now, we're looking over here on the right now. Now we see on the right, we already see Ma'at at the very top. Why? Because it's representing that balance. That's the key to all this. Okay. Now we're not gonna go in deep on what we're on where it is, because you're gonna have to tap in with me on D Live is where we're going to actually decode these mysteries and these hieroglyphs. I'm going to show you how to decode these. Okay. But you have to tap in with me and on D Live, iGod TV on D Live. Okay. It's another platform, you know, where they let you do the freedom and you don't have to pay for it. You know, for me, you don't have to pay to come see me on there. All right. Like the Patreons and other things. People want to bleed the people out. Come check me out on D Live. And of course, there's donations and things like like that. But you don't have to pay me every week or every month to come tap in. But it's more free over there to where I can give you the secrets and give you the codes for the people who really want to be there and not just for anybody that can tap in, you know. So also I got TV on D Live. Okay, check me out over there too, family. All right. But anyway, we're going to go into a little bit of it. We see Ma'at. We already decoded the mysteries of Ma'at. Okay. Now, as we looking at these 5 figures over here, family, okay, to the untrained eye, we're looking at what? Gods. Okay. Okay. But as we remove the shadow, as we open the eyes, okay, we see today that that we know now, that if you've been following through, that this is frequency. Okay, these are frequencies. And how do we know they're frequencies, Bill? If we see in every one of their hands, we see the staffs, right? They say it's the staff of the pharaohs or the staff of power. Okay, yes, it is the staff of power. All right, that staff of power is frequency. Okay, electromagnetic frequency. All right, and how do we know that, Bill? We look down at the very bottom of each one of these, family, and we see what? The tuning fork. Okay, so we know that each one of these transmit a frequency or vibration. For those who don't like to use the word frequency, a vibration, okay, through the tuning forks. So we know that each 5 of these things are 5 different what? Frequencies. All right, family? Okay, hold on a second. All right, family, are you with me right now? All right, I know you're there. I know you're locked in. I just want to take a second for us to breathe, okay? We're looking into these things and we see that, take that physical blinder away, all right? Step through the shadow. The shadow walks behind me. Satan, get behind me, okay, is what your Christ said, meaning the shadow follows me. I don't follow the shadow, okay? You see that behind me? It does what I do, not I don't do what it does, okay? So when we're looking at this, we're seeing inside of it, okay? We're down here where things are born, all right? And also where they died to be reborn. So these older things to come back even, or ancient, what you want to call it. But it's always been here. It's always present time, okay? But we're looking at it as it really is, family, and how it pertains to us, what the ancestors honestly meant, and how we use it for us to move forward in our lives, and especially for our children, okay? Our kids have to have this so they can have these tools before we know, you know who completely can take control and move them as chess pieces for themselves, man. We have to give them and keep this knowledge of the human family and the power of the human family and what the power of life is, okay? Not just death, the power of life is, so these kids can use that to evolve and move forward. All right, family, that's what we're doing. All right, that's why we're doing the Up Next Radio for the youth to promote themselves. That's why we're doing the videos. That's why we're doing the other platforms to help show them a way to reach the hand out like Heru. All right. You see over here, family, you see Heru up at the top of above me, holding the hand, guiding to what? Balance. Okay. Guiding to the balance. Okay. All right. This is what we're doing. All right. See, you see how I can, tap in with me on D Live, iGod TV on D Live, family. If you don't have it, download that app and tap in and follow iGod TV. Okay. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do what I just did right there. Okay. All right. Now let's go back to my screen, family. All right. We got to continue. All right. Okay, now we're seeing that all this is the understanding of frequency, okay? Because they'll tell you, hey, yeah, this is the scarab. It means the sun as it travels across the sky, okay? Yes, but look at the difference. Look, do you see this one at the top? Look at the one at the bottom. Not the same stance. Now, you know what they call yoga? These are positionings, okay? Positionings. So the scarab is showing you the positioning of the sun, okay? And the positioning of the sun and the frequencies to tap into, okay? At the time, okay? Now, we're not going to go too deep into it, family, but check me out on D Live, and I'm going to be giving y'all these joints, and y'all going to, you'll see what I mean. But tonight, I'm just letting you know that we're talking about frequency. We're not talking about gods or something spooky or something that's going to come in through your house while you're sleeping, something that lays on your back while you sleep at night, scratching you up, not something that's just, none of that, family, okay? These things are about you. These things are frequency, and they need to be balanced. That's why my odds over here, they need to be projected in balance, okay? Because not only do these hands project, okay, what else do they do, family? They fend off evil, okay? They also can hold off. If you're watching the Jedis, which we see, I'm always rocking, you know how we represent. If you're a Jedi, you know that it can expel, it can force out energy, and it can also hold off energies, okay? Okay? We right here, family. Let's continue on. All right. Balance, frequency, iGod TV. Okay. Now, we're looking at this, and we'll say, okay, these are stars and symbols, or the sun in some instances too, okay? Now, I'm going to show you here tonight, family, that this is more than stars or symbolism of the sun or what people may think, okay? So we're looking at these symbols, so to speak, okay? And all of them, and I showed different ones from different religious backgrounds and beliefs, so we could all tap in and see that everything is everything. And that all these tie in. There's no difference in the philosophies that we're studying. And the wisest of the wise know this. The so-called masters know this, okay? There's no such thing as, there is no difference in the things that we're studying and the things we're projecting. And it all represents the human family and us in the universe, and how we activate and balance these energies to not only live, but to also move on the planet, okay? So we see over here on the left, the very first one, we see Star David, okay? Okay. Right here, we see the 8 point, okay? This right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 point. Now, anybody in the nation would know the 6 point sun, the 16 point sun, okay? The 8 diagram, which is the positive side, and the 8th diagram of the negative side, okay? Electromagnetic energy right here. This is the symbol of electromagnetic energy combined. You see the ring around in the back behind it because the sun's doing it, of course. The sun projects it, but it's also in us, okay? The positive and the negative, okay? We see the 8 directions, on our magnetic field of the planet Earth, all right? This is also what this stands for, the 8 directions we see, okay? But they put 16 in it, representing the positive, negative, which we're not going to use that anymore. We're going to use the electromagnetic, okay? So the electromagnetic energy combined is right here. This is the symbolism of the electromagnetic energy combined, okay? Okay, family? Not something spooky of the giants when they were around, and they might have used this symbol, but what it is what it is, what I just told you, okay? That's what it represents. It's not going against anything that you believe either, okay? It's a frequency, okay? It's a vibration, all right? It has nothing to do with an evil thing that wants to strike you, or if someone shows you it, that they're going to be damned to the fire, okay? That's not what any of this is, okay, family? Okay? Now, we're seeing all these symbols, all right? This one looks like the sun, the Buddhist, okay? Okay, see the same thing right here. Okay, we see all the symbolism, all right, family? And we all see that these are actual frequency. Okay, we see this frequency, all right? This is also frequencies. I believe it's 720 degrees, okay? And this is also a frequency, okay? These angles, all right? This is a vibration, all right? The Star of David is a vibration, okay? That's exactly what it is. All of these are vibrations, okay? Energies that you can project, all right? Now we see this, they say, uh-oh, what's this one? All right, it's imbalanced, this, all right? Tilted on the axis, all right, so to speak, like they say the what planet is right now, all right? All right, you see, this was this, okay, at some point, all right? But at the same time, it's off the balance, all right? This is the feminine version, it's the 5 point. This is the masculine. This is the feminine or electromagnetic, okay? Now, this is the magnetic off balance, okay? An imbalanced magnetic field or frequency, okay? The goat, or what they call it, or however they roll, but it's just representing the imbalance. Because the goat, what's the goat do? Eats anything, goes against the, all of, the symbolism of the goat. So that's all that actually means is the imbalance. This is the imbalance. Okay. All right. So when you see these symbols, that means they're representing the imbalance or the balanced or the combination. You get what I'm saying? Or this even right here is a frequency, okay? A star that we see at night in the midst of the crescent moon, okay? This is a frequency, okay? This is a happening. This is an optical illusion. This is a happening in the sky, okay? That's being represented. All right. So when you're looking at these symbolisms, these symbols on people, you understand that they're representing a frequency or a happening or a vibration. Because when this happens, what frequency is given off to the planet when this is happening? Okay. That's what you need to look into. And then you'll see their theologies, and then you'll be able to be understood through understanding. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Now, this is all about geometry as a frequency, okay? Geometrical symbols as a frequency, all right? That's where we're going with this. This all not necessarily something spooky to you or something that's to harm you. We're here to show you that it's the frequency, all right? It's a vibration, okay? Let's continue. All right. Now we see more symbolisms, all right? We see the Ankh on the left. Now we all know that the Ankh, symbolism of the feminine and the masculine energy. We saw that on the Let There Be Light. If you haven't seen the Let There Be Light episode, go back into the playlist, Live from Planet Earth, and check out the Let There Be Light episode, and we'll give you the whole science of the Ankh and how it represents birth and life through the combination of electromagnetic energy. Okay, the womb at the top, the phallus at the bottom, with the balance across to create life. Okay? Now, I want you to tap into the image in the middle. Okay? We all know what this is. This is what they call the Holy Cross. Okay? Now, they call this the Holy Cross, okay? Now, a lot of people say it represents the sun too, and it represents the horizon and the things like that. They try to bring it that come out in the spiritual form. A lot of people say it's the cross where Christ was murdered and Christ died, okay? But I want you to tap in a little deeper on this one tonight, family, okay? So if we're looking at this cross, so to speak, the very first thing I would notice in geometry or geometrically, I would notice is the fact that it's imbalanced. Okay? This is not a balanced cross, okay? If this is a horizon, it is not balanced. Okay? If you look at on the left at the Ankh, it's balanced to create life, okay? That horizon, so to speak, or that equator or that equality is balanced, okay? If you look at this cross, so to speak, it's imbalanced, which it actually looks like a what? Sword that isn't unsheathed yet, Okay. And if you look at that theology, like I was telling you, if you look at their symbolism and you study the symbolism, you can see their theology. So if you see the theology of the sword, it's what? Live by the sword, die by the sword. Okay. And this is all they've been about is death. Okay, this symbol has only been about death, even where there's Christ, the perfect being at their time, the Savior, the Sotar, the Savior was killed on this symbol. Okay, so it represents the death of the what? Light. Okay, so it's nighttime, the evening. Okay, it's the death of the light with this symbol. Okay, we have to look and see what we're actually looking at. Okay, family, we here, all right? Transmitter of supreme science on the earth and the universe. Okay, family? I mean that when I say that. I mean that when I say that. Okay, so we're looking at an imbalanced cross, or which is a sword, which is the death that they've been bringing across the planet Earth. And they're trying to take out into the universe, Elon Musk and all these people. They're trying to take this theology with them out into the universe, family. But that's why we hear the Jedi, it's time to activate. Okay, so we're seeing what they're doing with that symbol, all right? And we're seeing it as compared to the Ankh, which they try to make the Kemites, the Kemetic teachings, the paganism, or the ones that went against God, or the ones that's been punished. You see, we had the balance to create the life in our symbolism, okay? There was life in our symbolism, all right? Now, if we're looking over to the right, over to the other side of the cross, we see the yin and the yang, okay? Now we see right here on the yin and the yang, we know that that's a frequency, okay? And it's the sun's frequency because we have the positive, we have the electromagnetic, okay? And then we have the electromagnetic charges being released from all sides, okay? And we see the sunspots, all right? We know about the sunspots. Go back and check out the solar messenger in season 1. Check out Let There Be Light, season 1. There's a few of them. We went in on the atoms or atom, sun or sun. You know what I'm saying? We went in on this frequency, family. So if you see, we've been taking the steps, went to the right direction, and we've been keeping everything in order as the stars do and as the universe does, to make sure as you go through this, you progressing through the stages and the steps and the levels. Okay? All right. Now, let's continue. As we're looking at these symbols and we're looking at this frequency, I want to say this, family. We're thinking that all this comes from space, okay? We're thinking that all this symbolism comes from space, okay? When honestly, it's not just from space, because the very first place of exploration for the human beings was what? The water, okay? Fishing was one of our first ways of food, okay? That's how we figured out how to plant the water. We had to master the water, and we're still trying to do that to this day. But mastering of the water was one of the very first things. And if you look in the Bible, if you go back to angels or aliens, all right, I keep telling you that all this ties in. Go back to angels and aliens, and you'll see how they talk about the waters in the Bible, in the book of Enki, and in all these books, they talk about how the waters, the separation of the waters, you have to separate the waters. Even in Kemet, the story of how Kemet was made or Kemet was established was the Pharaoh was able to separate the water and channel the Nile in a different direction because it would flood every year completely. All right. They talk about the flooding of the Nile, but it would flood Kemet completely. OK, but once they were able to rechannel that, it was able to keep the water back to raise the land from the mud in which it became Kemet. OK. So we looking at it as family as the waters was the first thing that we were mastering and we were trying to be masters of. And being masters of that, and in the midst of mastering that water is how we began to recognize and follow the stars, okay, and map them out to see where we were going on this water, okay? This is how we're getting the astrology, is traveling on this water. They want to tell you that the ancients didn't have boats. And how can you not have a boat if you're doing all this astronomy? How can you do all this astronomy without the boats and, of course, telescopes and crystals to use as telescopes and lenses? We already know that we use that, but you had to have you were traveling on this water and you're mapping this out to show you how to move and what direction you're going on the planet at the time. Okay. And I'm about to show you right here how we use this water and how this water showed us, also gave us this symbolism, and how we took the symbolism from the water with us to ancient times and today, family. Okay. Okay. Let's continue on. All right. All right. You see this, family? Okay. Aquatics. Okay. We're going to show you right here. Shout out to a few of the homies, Seven Bomar and a few of the homies, that put us onto this science. But I'm breaking it down for you here today in the midst of this lunar illusion to show you the truth on things and to be able to project the equality and judge it from yourself, seeing both sides. Okay. So as we look over here on the very left, okay, we're seeing different shells and different, shellfish and things that exist under the ocean. Okay. Symbols. And shells of stuff of living beings. Okay, these are the shells and things of living beings and stuff like that in the ocean. Okay, we're going to glimpse through it real quick because I just want to tap in with you on it just to show you. Okay, now we see this first picture on the left. Okay, what do we see? We're already going to catch our eye. We already see the Star of David right here. The frequency right here of the Star of David. We see it right here. Okay, now you might say, okay, what's that mean? What's that have to do with anything? Okay, if we're looking at this, we get this symbolism gives us this symbolism. Okay, family? On the left. We get this symbolism from seeing this in the ocean. Okay, family? Because when you look up at a star, an actual star, it's a sphere. Okay? You don't see these angles in these stars in the sky when you're looking at them from the eye and things. Okay? So the way you're getting these geometrical angles and this geometry is in the ocean. Okay, we're getting this. We get this symbol from here. We see the 6 points. Okay, look, we see again. All right, the 12 points. Okay. And then we see here outside of it, there's 4 more. So then we see the 16 right here. Okay. We're seeing the angles. All right. And the geometry right here, we see all coming from the ocean. Okay. We see the triangle, the pyramid, we see it. 5 points, starfish. Okay. Where else are you seeing this symbol besides in the ocean, family? Okay, you're not looking into the sky and seeing this. All right, you're seeing this in the ocean. You're not seeing this in the sky. Okay, you're seeing a sphere or a glow from a sphere. Okay, you're seeing this in the ocean, family. Okay, take a look around. We're seeing this in the ocean, family. You see the directions? Look at that. Look at that. You see your cross? Look at that. Right there in the ocean, family. Okay? Okay? You seeing it? You seeing it? Okay? Look, a lot of sun symbols. You know what I'm saying? See them down here and things? You seeing them over here? You seeing them over here? All right, from the ocean. Okay, you're not seeing these in space. All right, you're seeing the glow from spheres. All right, look down here. I liked it to show this one because the brother made a good point where he said the crowns. All right, as soon as I seen this, immediately I started thinking of the crowns of the Asians and the dynasties of the Asians. All right, look at that. Look at it, family. You see the warriors and the different crowns that they wore. All right, these things exist in the ocean. Okay. These are not things that they saw in space, okay? They saw these things underwater aquatics, all right? All right? Look at that. You see the crowns, okay? Coming from the ocean, family. You're seeing the symbols coming from the ocean, family, all right? the knowledge from below, the underworld, so to speak, also another form of the underworld. Okay. We're seeing it right here, family. All right. Shout out to the God 7 Bomar and for putting us onto this science, and we're giving it to the family tonight, family. All right. Now we see in here tonight the connection, the balance. All right. The equality, 2022, the equality. All right. Of all things, and how we're all in this together and how we're all connected together. Okay. We're seeing it right here tonight. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Now, let's talk about the moon and the moon cycles. Let's get lunar. Let's get lunar with it now. All right. We've been talking about the frequencies. We've been talking about the balance. And we've been talking about the illusion, and we talked about this. Now we're about to talk about the shadow. Okay. Now we talk about the shadow. Okay, family. And we're going to decode this mystery. And I'm going to give you the science of the shadow of the lunar illusion. Okay. And how they took this science, this trick science, ran with it and made it something that it really wasn't from the very beginning. This is all how we kept track of time. Okay. First, before I even go in, I want to say this all has to do with time. Okay. All this spookiness and all this weirdness that they give you from what you're looking at right here in these 4 photographs, family, it's really just how in the ancients kept track of time. Okay. What do we have to know time for? Because there was time that we did things, time to grow things. All right. Time to know when the floods would come. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Time to know when to harvest the things, you know? We had to keep track of certain times to know when things were happening in the universe and on the planet. Okay. And so we use these happenings in the universe to help us keep track of this time, okay? So we could compute how to move on the planet, okay? That's what all this is about. All this science is about. Hold on, family. All this science is about how we use this wisdom to know how to move on this planet. Okay. We kept track of the time to know about the happenings so that we knew how to survive. It was survival and living and the truth of living naturally. Okay. The natural happenings to where we could move and live naturally and move along with the universe in accord and in tune with these things and these happenings. Okay. That's what we're saying. All right, family. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so as we're looking at these, we see over here on the left, okay, we see the phases of the moon, okay? We're looking at the moon phases right here, family, all right? Now, we see the first quarter, waxing, new, waning, third quarter, waning, full, and waxing, all right? Now, this is how we were keeping track of time of what? The tide, the floods, how the water was moving, and the channeling and the directioning of the waters, the separating of the waters and things, all right, was being shown to us by this diagram right here, okay? But what I want to say about this diagram, see, we see it on the top and we see it at the bottom, okay? It's the same diagram that we're looking at, okay? So as we're looking at this, we see how this positioning and the shadow as it was maneuvering became symbolism, okay? But symbolism of keeping time, not symbolism of keeping evil spirit alive or dead or whatever you guys make it into, okay? And this time would show you when mushrooms would grow, when certain plants would grow, vegetation, certain things you can't pick till certain positionings, all right? That's what it's about. It's not a spiritual thing like you're making it good and evil. It's a positioning to let us know when the time to harvest certain things, to meditate on certain things, to manifest certain things on the planet, okay? Because the frequency or the vibration was what was being sent off is what mattered, okay? The vibration is what mattered, okay? That's what the key was. They turned it into a spookism to where you don't know how this works, okay? But we're showing you right here again, family. We're bringing it back to the surface on how this works. iGod TV, all right? Now, we look over here on the right. We see it from a different angle. It's the same exact diagram, but from a different angle, okay? Because this was going to give y'all flat earthers. I wanted to give y'all a vibe real quick because I'm not hating on y'all, all right? Even though we have different views, I'm not hating on it, but I'm going to continue to break down the mysteries on every level. So you can see it, my people can see it, and everybody can see it who's watching, that's tapping in. We don't all necessarily have to agree on the theologies to know the science. The science had nothing to do with it. The science created the theology, okay? So let's do the science and not worry about the theology, all right, family? So let's keep it going together. All right. So we're looking at over here on the right, and we see the turning of it in the orbit. Okay. Creating this. See, but what they leave out in this on the left, okay, what they leave out on the left, and they make this so spiritually powerful, which actually created a theology, which I'm going to show you later. Of course, we're going to show you the theology that came out of this. Okay. What they don't show you in these, that they show you in this is what? The sun is projecting this whole illusion. Okay. The sun is doing this, family. This what you see on the left? The sun's doing this. Okay. So the whole time the moon is this full. You see it? This is what the moon is actually looking like the whole time. But the optical illusion from the projection of what? Positioning gives you this. Okay? It gives you this. Okay? So without the sun, you don't have this. All right? So when you're trying to make the shadow the most powerful energy, you're wrong because you only get this shadow from this. Okay? Peace to the gods and earths, man. iGod TV, Born Build Universal, transmitters of supreme science on earth and the universe. Every time I pull up, what? Straight science. All right, family? You don't get any of this without this. Okay? You don't get this optical illusion without the sun doing the work. All right, family, that's what I mean, all right? And if we look at the very bottom of this, we see the same diagram in an ancient time, okay? It's the same exact phases of the moon happening right here as the sun shines around, okay? And then it's giving you the constellations, and this is what's happening, how they kept track of time, okay? You making it a spiritually evil thing when it's not. Because what? You should keep the things balanced. It can be, but it also can be a godly thing. It's about how your ma'at is balanced. What are you projecting and what are you holding off and keeping in balanced? You know, keeping in the borders. Can you keep yourself in the character to where you don't explode or you don't do things without thinking about them first? Do things rationally. That's not how you move. All right, ma'at. Balance. All right. Now, what I'm saying is the lunar illusion is the moon is always full. Okay. The moon is always full, family. It's the positioning of the sun and the earth and the moon. Okay. Which are all spinning and moving for my flat earthers. All these things are spinning and moving. That's how we get this optical illusion. All right. It's not flat. You're not dealing with flat objects when you're getting these optical illusions, family. All right. That's what another thing we're proving tonight. OK, I'm not hating on anyone's theology or thoughts. I'm just showing you the facts, family. All right. You're not getting any of this without this happening. And it's going around and it's involving spheres and the rotating of what? Spheres. OK. We just gonna give it right to you tonight, all right? All 2022, like they say. All right, all 2022, family. We giving it to you right and exact. Nothing taken away, all staying the same from the ancestors, all right? Peace. Let's continue. All right. Now we're going to show you how this became a theology. Okay. How did the shadow become a theology? All right. This is them manipulating it and turning it into something that is not. Okay. We're going to start here. Okay. I'm not going against anybody's beliefs or thoughts. We decoding those thoughts so you can see it as it truly is and not what it appears to be. That's what this whole episode is about, what we said from the beginning, family. Okay. Okay. So we're not offending anybody. We're taking it to the grains. All right. We in the underworld. You see it in the back. All right. We down here where it's being regenerated and regenerated. Okay. So let's go. Now we see the symbolism. Okay. We see in the moon. So we know now that this is a what? Frequency. These people are dealing with a frequency, a positioning of the sun, moon, and the earth. And apparently a star at the time too, okay, and a happening at that time, okay? Now you have all these flood stories. I'm not saying this is the flood story, but I'm saying you have stories and happenings of different things in time, okay? And when you see these stars, now if you look at Christianity, you see Christ and the stars of Bethlehem. They followed the stars to get to Bethlehem. You see what I'm saying? Positioning and vibration, okay, is what all these theologies deal with. All right. Now we see here on the left here, they're dealing with the moon and the positioning. Okay. The crescent. You know, this is what they might call the, what was that? The waning, or what was that? Yeah, the waning crescent. Okay. So this is the waning crescent down here. All right. So the waning crescent positioning and this star, which is probably Sirius or one of them, and this frequency and this positioning and time is what they're talking about. Okay. Decoding, family. All right. Walk with me. Walk with me. All right. So we're looking at this moon at the top, these two top pictures. What do we see on these top pictures? All right. We see would it be a waxing gibbous? See, they don't necessarily have this one. All right. But if we're looking at it, it's either a waning or a waxing. Okay. But if it's, see, the glow is at the bottom, so that would mean it would be the waxing crescent. Okay. So we see the waning crescent here. And then we see the waxing crescent here. Okay, family? Okay. Are you with me? Are you with me here? All right. Are you with me, family? Okay. You see where we going, all right? Decoding the frequency and the mystery so it can be useful for you now, all right? No longer slaves to these symbolisms, all right? No longer slaves to these symbolisms, okay? They're ours now. They're ours now. Well, again, should I say, because as we know from all your theologies and all your books, this earth was given to us as a gift from the very beginning, okay? This planet was ours and this universe was ours from the very beginning. Okay. It does not belong to Satan or the devil, whatever you want to call it, because he don't even exist. Okay. The lie is that he does exist. He don't. They tell you that he don't exist. That was the lie, the greatest lie. The greatest lie is that he does. You projecting. If he does exist, you projecting it. Okay. If it does exist, you're projecting it. Ma'at, balance. You're projecting it if it does. Okay. Because it's neutral and then it projects electromagnetic. Okay, the source, the sun, you are the sun, you are the source, projects off the energies. Okay, so just if you see what I'm saying, family. Okay, I didn't come to play no games this year. I came to give it to my family who've been here, who've been tapping in. We going all the way there. All right, family, let's continue. Okay, so we see what they're dealing with here. Positionings, times. All right. Timestamps for all my video editors. All right. Timestamps are what we're looking at. Okay. Okay? Same with here. We see in the sun and we see in the waxing moon. All right? We're seeing it right here. We're seeing how they're dealing with frequency. Okay? Now, let's show you in ancient times how they were dealing with that same frequency, that lunar frequency. Okay? And the different positionings of the lunar of the moon. Okay? We see over here on the left, we see there formed the lamb. All right? The lamb. And then we see right here, he's got what? The horns. All right? These horns is what represents this lunar, this crescent for them. Okay? See it even closer. Here's the close-up. You see the horns, it's all lunar energy. All right? And lunar positioning. Okay? Which became Islam. Okay? How do we know Samaria? They want to make them African and they want to say they were the Hebrews and they were this. These were the Arabs, which became into Islam. How do we know that? Because everywhere is lunar, and we know that Islam uses the lunar calendar. Ramadan goes off the lunar calendar, okay? It's a lunar theology, okay? Which is actually a feminine energy or magnetic energy, which they would call feminine, which they think that the men are actually the heads of all this, which they are. They do all the movements and stuff. But why do you think they cover the women with the veils? Why do you think they keep the women supposedly so sacred? Because it's a lunar theology. It's the woman is the projector of this energy. Okay, and they cover with the face because you're not supposed to be able to look in the face of God. And in their theology, their God is this lunar moon positioning. Okay. So they cover her face, so therefore you can't look in the face of his God. You get what I'm saying? Which is supposed to be his wife. Okay? And you see it right here. They're showing it. Okay? The lunar energy, they're bringing his wife to him, his goddess. The goddess is offering his goddess to him in marriage. Okay? I see how we breaking down the mysteries, family. I'm telling you, tap in with me on D Live, iGod TV on D Live. Go get it. You can get it on your laptop or your phone, whatever. It's an app, DLIVE. Go get it. Tap into iGod TV, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to just look at this stuff and break it all the way down. Okay. We're not gonna give it up on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. We're not gonna give it up like that over here. Come catch me on D Live, and you'll see. And we can go into that. All right. Anyway, so you see him right here. He's being offered the lunar energy. The wife. He's being married. He's getting married. Okay, he's been offered to God as his wife. Okay, she's excited. He definitely is excited. You know, all right. Okay, so down here we see what? The horns. All right, lunar, the moon, the milk, the cow. What's the cow do? Moo. The moon, moo, moo. Okay, okay, family. I know it sounds funny, family, but stay with me. I'm telling you, the moon, moo, okay? The horns, the lunar, the positioning, okay? It's all in here and it's all tied in, it's all there, okay? So you have the sun people and you have the moon people, okay? This is why we're at war, the Sumerians, and see what I'm saying? This is the Sumerian or the Arabic is not the original man of Northern Africa. Okay, it's been conquered. Okay, it was conquered by the lunar people. That's why they destroyed the sun temples. They destroyed the sun temples because they are lunar theology. Okay, they followed the lunar ways, but what they don't realize is this, family. This is what they don't get. This is what they don't get. It all comes from this sun, okay? Okay? You can't make this lunar thing the most high, okay? When it's all a projection of this. Okay? It doesn't happen without this, okay? So when you come in with this, and you come in with this, you denying the most high. You denying the source. It's not my eye. And your shit is not in balance. Your shit's not balanced. Okay? It's not balanced because you're denying the source. Okay? And you're projecting one energy. Okay? and glorifying one energy. All right. And that's what happened here. Okay. Sumerians to Islam. Go back and check my aliens or angels episode, and you'll see exactly what I mean. All right. And how Islam came from Sumerians, wasn't Hebrews. Well, it also could be because it's all the same books. The Quran, the Bible, the Torah. It's all there. The Torah is in the Quran and it's in the Bible. Okay. Let's just be honest. All right. Let's just be honest. Okay. The Torah is in the Quran and it's in the Bible. Okay. Let's just be honest. All right. The same theologies. That's why they always at war. That's why they fighting over this land they call Israel, because it's the same theology. And one of them wants to prove that they started it and they're the supreme originators of it. Okay. That's the fight. All right. Let's just be simple and plain. That's the fight. Okay. The Christianity and the Islam coming from the same thing, from the same origins in Sumeria, in this land in the Middle East. If you check out the episode Angels and Aliens, I'll show you where the people of the Bible being buried in Iraq and Iran. Okay. Okay. I'm talking about like disciples being in Iraq and Iran being buried. Okay. Not in Israel, not, but go back to that episode, check it out. Angels and Aliens. All right. But anyway, let's continue. So we're seeing how they rock with it. Okay. Now, when we're looking at this, we want to tap into another mystery. All right, family, right here. I want to tap into something right here that we was taught by the greatest, may Allah be pleased, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. All right. And it was the blue sky mystery. Okay. The blue sky mystery. Okay. Now, the blue sky mystery we see is when we on the planet during the daytime, it looks like the sky is blue. Okay. But of course, when the sun sets on our side or on the positioning, when the sun changes positioning and when we have the nighttime, we see that the sky is dark, is black, is dark. Okay. So what I'm going to show you here is when you leave this planet, okay, there is no actual sky. This is just empty darkness. It looks like darkness because there's nothing, okay? This is not a thing, okay, that you can go into, all right? This is eternity, all right? You see this up here on the right? You see this over here? This is eternity. Okay, this is the dark matter. This is dark matter. This is clouds and things like that. This is what they call empty space, but this is eternity. Okay, this is not some place you can go to, a destination. All right, this is the emptiness that the Buddhists talk about, and everything coming from the emptiness, and this is what they talk about. Okay, all right. The sky is not blue. It is another illusion, another optical illusion from the sun's positioning. Okay. Okay. The moon phases, the blue sky is all illusion from the positioning of the sun. These are all optical illusions being created by the sun. Okay. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him. Okay. Gave us that science, okay? And one thing I want to say about him, a lot of people might have their own opinions, and I definitely have mine too. But what I want to say is we have to give this man the credit for elevating and changing the mind of the African man and woman to take them back to their roots and to open up their minds to the universe, to the life, and to the study of science that we actually had from the very beginning. So peace and blessings on to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay? Now, let's continue. Now, we're going to talk about the shadow. Okay? We're going to talk about this vibration. We're going to talk about this energy. Okay? As we move on. Now, we see on the left, we see Horus. We see Heru. We see the messenger. We see the guider. He's guiding, he's guiding you to the Most High. Okay? Now, we see on the right, we see Set. They make it like evil, but it's not. Okay. You see that skin, that's the darkness. That's the eternity. Okay. That is the eternity. Okay. So they say that Set was the first God. Why? Because that eternal darkness is where the light came from. Let there be light. We see on the left. Okay. So this darkness, okay, which is life, which is alive. So we know it's a live frequency because we see the staff with the tuning forks. Okay. Tap in with me on D Live, iGod TV, decoding all ancient texts, not just hieroglyphs. Okay. Let's go. Now we see it's the frequency from the tuning fork of power. It's power, life, power. Okay. The darkness, Set, the first God, the infinite darkness. Okay. What we see here. All right. Okay. Now, in that darkness, then we have the light. Okay. The messenger, the sun. Okay. And we see that these are frequencies. All right. These are not gods or something spooky or even something evil. Okay. Because they try to make him something evil in the end, make it Satan. Set comes from Set, all the words they try to break down the etymology. That's not who he was in the beginning, though. You can make him, you can translate him however you want to your dumb, deaf, and blinds, but that's not the translation how we know it. The people of the universe, that's not how we translate it. Okay. Set. Okay. Soot. Eternal darkness. Frequency. Okay. Of space. Okay. Heru. The sun. Frequency. The savior. The sator. Life on the planet. Okay. The messenger from the Most High. That's why he's bringing you to Osiris. He's the messenger through me to the Father. Okay. Only through me to the Father. Okay. You see the mystery. All right. Let's continue. All right. We see it now. We see it in more modern texts. Okay. This is the same exact, they turned this to this. Okay. And you see the horns. All right. So we know what we're dealing with, which also the horns are also represent the brow, but that's in Kemet. Okay. We see the horns. Okay. Positioning a time. All right. Okay. They turned this to this. All right. Made it spooky because here's the messenger and the guider, and only through him can you get to the Father, right? Well, same story. Okay. But the mystery is this story. Okay. The mystery is this story. All right. We all got this, but we don't have this. Okay. Now, this story became this. Okay. But we was just telling you, and if you check, previous episodes on, if you check my previous episode, Son or Son, we talked about who Set is and was, and I just gave you a brief explanation of who Set is. Okay. The infinite space, the infinite darkness. Okay. The infinite darkness frequency, which is alive. Okay. And can bring life. All right. Active. It's active. All right. Okay. That became this story of a life and a death and an influencer of this life and this death. Okay. But if we see here, this is the influencer of this life because the sun came out of this. Now, if you know anything about Blazars, peace to the God Tamu-El, he taught us about the Blazars on our other episode. We interviewed Tamu-El, which was very powerful. Definitely check that one out and follow him on Instagram. And we broke down that frequency and what it became today. Okay. So when they're looking at this story, they tell you about the life and the death and the influence of that life and death. But the blazars come from this and create these, which are suns on the physical suns. Okay. Look up blazars, Google it, family, and you'll see what I mean. All right. Let's continue. Became this, all right, from this. Okay, the two natures, if we also can break this down to the science of what? The two natures of the sun. Also, okay, electromagnetic energy, okay? Electromagnetic energy, electromagnetic, okay? The two natures. And they say that Christ had what? Two natures, okay? These are the two natures, okay? Right here. All right. This is what it became. Okay. Now, you see where we're going with it, family. Okay. And you see the connection and the progression and how the evolution of the mind and how it was twisted into these thoughts and this theology of something that actually doesn't mean what you think it means. Okay. And we can no longer continue going through our life following these theologies and following these ideas, made by and created by man, to guide us and lead us. And as we become slaves to these things and to these symbols and to these thoughts, okay, from other men, okay? We've seen tonight how we break all these down and how they're all connected and where they come from and how these things are an illusion of the sun, okay? The sun is creating this optical illusion, all right, that we see in the sky through this positioning, all right? And these things are being worshiped by people, and when actually it was used to keep track of time for us to know when to do things naturally, for natural resources and just natural things for health and things for the body through meditation and things that we use as human beings to evolve, okay? These was what we used to keep track of time of when to do these things or when these things would happen so we know when it would happen again, okay, family? That's what this is about. It's not about something spiritual, something that's going to come into your home and harm you, something you need to be afraid of. And now you can live and move forward and use these things for yourself and for your power, okay, and for your ability, for you to move forward, for you to take this life where it needs to go, and for you to show your children where to take this life to. Okay, family, that's what this episode's about. That's what we do in all 2022, equality, balance. Okay, 2022, balance. All right, family. I'm going to thank everybody for tapping in. Make sure you tap into the other episodes and keep up with where we're going, family, because we're definitely on the track. You know what I mean? And I love y'all. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and and pass it on to the family. And for those that want to tap into the deciphering of the ancient texts, catch me over on D-Live. Subscribe to me follow me on D-Live. Hit me on the messenger, or let me know. And we can tap, and I'll tap in with you from there, family. All right. And we can go in and we start dropping the episodes. Okay. I just want to thank everybody once again. Lunar Illusion. I hope you enjoyed it. It's definitely real. We definitely here, and we definitely taking this by the reins now. We know how to drive. We don't need the autopilot. We don't need the Tesla. I want to drive. All right. I want to drive. All right. I don't want to sleep while the car's taking me. I want to drive. And that's what we're doing, family. All right. Thank you for being here once again. Born, Build, Universal, transmitter supreme science on Earth and the universe. iGod TV. Peace.